Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. It's about that time. Let's go take that walk and see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from Keegan Ales, and these guys are out of New York. They're out of Kingston, New York. This is their Joe Mama's Milk. Joe Mama, yeah, Joe Mama. And this is their milk stout, and it says here milk stout with coffee added. And my brother Rico sent me this. Matter of fact, he sent me a couple of them when he was down. Spent the weekend with me. He said, "You haven't reviewed that. What's up with that?" And I said, "Well, I've already reviewed the milk stout." And he said, "No, that's a different version. That's Joe Mama's." I'm going, "Oh, okay." So I got it out, and I'm hoping the coffee hasn't faded too much since I was very lackadaisical in reviewing this. And I didn't realize it had coffee in it until I got to reading the bottle. I said, "Oh man, it's got coffee in it, man." I hope it hadn't faded too much. And on the neck here, they've got batch number 06716. So, I mean, if batch number 67 is fine, but if it's the 67th day of 2016, this was done in March of 2016, and if it was, I mean, the coffee has probably faded quite a bit over time on this. So if it has, I apologize to my brother Rico for sticking this in the closet instead of reviewing it in a timely manner. But we're going to review it and see what happens. It is a milk stout at 8%. That means milk stout means it's been brewed with lactose, which is an unfermentable sugar. The yeast cannot eat that up, which lends it to having a nice sweetness to the back end. If you don't put lactose while you're brewing your beers, especially this style, they end up being kind of dry and not as sweet as if. And I have brewed with lactose before, and it does help, guys. It still keeps that sweetness on the back end. So if you like some nice sweet milk stout, that's what you got to do to brew that kind of beer. So this is, like I said, 8% imperial or a double milk stout, imperial stout. Commercial description on this, well, it's 8%. Let me see if it doesn't have the IBUs listed here on Rate Beer. 50 is what it's got on Untapped. 50 IBUs, so shouldn't be too bitter whatsoever. Commercial description says, "Big brother to our mother's milk," and I reviewed that. That's what I reviewed. Joe Mama's starts out with mother's milk recipe. Then we add copious amounts of brown sugar to add body and increase the alcohol, because brown sugar is fermentable, and that'll jack the alcohol up because the yeast can eat that. And after primary fermentation, we then infuse a cold coffee extract from our friends down the street, Monkey Joe's Roasting Company. So they're using a local coffee house or a coffee roaster to add their local coffee to their beers. So nice to see these breweries support the local guys and do stuff like that. So I'm hoping the coffee hasn't faded too much, guys, and I haven't kept it too long. That's the only downgrade. Oh, that's an imperial stout. You can keep that. It's 8%. You can keep that for a while. Well, it's brewed with coffee. That's going to fade a little bit over time. So just got to be aware of what they put in the beer and not cellar it too long where those coffee notes fade. So don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. We covered IBUs, ABV, and commercial description. So while I get the cap off of this, I will tell you food pairing, the cheeses are buttery, brie gouda, Havarti Swiss. Goes well with your chocolate dishes, of course. The meat is beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. Glassware to pint, Becker 9 tumbler snifter, oversized wine glass. I'm using my favorite snifter, the Sauvin beer glass, Sauvin. Just Google it if you're interested in getting one of these glasses. They're not cheap. They're about $35 a piece, but they're very super, probably about the heaviest tulip glass I've ever seen in my life. My favorite freaking glass. That's why you see this glass all the time here. Much better than a pint glass on any style of beer. Just my opinion now. Now I'm probably going to get called out on the carpet for that. Oh man, you're not using the proper glassware. Well, do yourself, because I'm going to use what I want to use. This glass enhances the aromas. That's why I use it so much. And it is super thick walled, heavy duty, unlike a lot of the other breweries glasses that are super thin. If you look at them, they crack. And this one won't. This is a great glass. And Rico told me he has 2 of these glasses. So that boy done spent $70, probably plus shipping, to get a couple of these glasses. And if I break this one, I will. Parrish, my friend in California, sent me this glass as a birthday present a couple years ago. And if anything ever happens to it, I am going to order another. So, my favorite glass. And of course, they say here the beer can be cellared. 8%, it can, but just remember it's got coffee in that phase. Very dark beer, very black in the glass here. A little bit of red ruby tinges down here around the thin part. None, it's pitch black up here. Let's get a nose to it. Not much head poured on this one. Rich roasted malt, hints of bittersweet chocolate. Just a slight hint of some coffee. That's what I'm saying, guys. I probably have kept this beer too long to get that big, bold, roasted coffee flavor. But I am smelling some coffee. Just not as probably strong as it probably would have been when it was put in the bottle, the first month or 2 or 3. Well, final beer of the evening for me, guys. Let's dive in and see what we got here. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Got a wonderful aroma, it really does. Nice sweetness to it. That is still rather tasty. I am getting some strong coffee notes on that. Wow. Wow, that is delicious. I am very surprised that I'm still getting that much coffee on this beer. Wow. That is really, really good. A lot of people say, that'd be a good breakfast beer with the sweetness. A lot of milk stouts are nice breakfast beers, especially for the weekend when you don't have to go to work or stuff. Just remember it's 8%er though. I mean, I wouldn't have more than one of these for breakfast, that's for sure. And definitely wouldn't want to go to work after you've had an 8% beer. So, a nice weekend beer if you're not working, and to go with something. A lot of people like these darker beers for breakfast. They make a lot of breakfast stouts. So, just remember you're drinking 8% for breakfast. If you're having a big hearty breakfast, I don't think I'd want a biscuit to go with this. Maybe some biscuits and gravy and eggs and sliced tomato and some country sausage, and ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Alright guys, this is right out of the fridge, about 40 degrees. So I'm going to step out on the deck, and I got a nice Maduro wrapped cigar that I was puffing on earlier. I'm going to fire that puppy up and sip on this beer and let her taste it, and see what we end up with here in about 30 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on about 30 minutes. Went very nice with that Maduro wrapped cigar I was smoking. Nice earthy, woody, leathery taste to the cigar. The beer has a very nice roasted malt, hints of bittersweet chocolate, maybe just a little bit of dark fruit in there. The coffee notes are still there, even though I've cellared it a little too long. Just imagine what this would have been when it was fresh. But the coffee notes are probably off the chain, guys. But still, there are some coffee notes still in this beer. So, and I've probably had this beer 6 months. If you don't like that big, bold coffee notes in your stouts, cellar it just a little longer. They will fade a little bit over time. So, wonderful beer. Great final beer of the evening for me. Went very well with that cigar that I was smoking. Final chug. With the coffee notes that I'm getting now, I can just imagine how tasty and coffee-esque this beer would have been fresh. So Rico, I apologize for keeping this beer a little too long than I should have, because I know the coffee notes do fade over time, guys. This is like hops. Hops will fade over time on your IPAs and double IPAs. That's why you want to drink it fresh. It's still a very tasty beer. He did send me 2 of these, so I do have another one, which I'm going to probably drink in the next week or 2. It is a great beer. I would buy this beer if I could get it here, guys. I would. It is very tasty. This would probably been a 9 if I'd have done it fresh, but right now, and I'm not a big fan of the dating they're doing on their beers. I just simply see a month, and a year, or at least some kind of month and year on there. The date's irrelevant on this style of beer, but it is very tasty. It's still a decent beer for as long as I've had it here. So to me, guys, I'm going to give this an 8, which is an A-. It would probably been a 9 beer if I'd have done it fresh. So it's my fault. I'll take the blame for this. I settled it probably just a little too long to get those big, bold coffee notes. But the coffee's still there. It's a little subdued, but it's still there. The American rating for me, guys, would probably be a 90 on this one. It is still an A beer as far as I'm concerned, maybe even a 91. I'd rather see a better dating that they're doing on this bottle than what I've got, but it is what it is. All right, let's run over to Beer Advocate, and they say, hey, they say 90, outstanding, and that's exactly where I've got it, guys. I agree with that 100%. And over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer has 95 overall, but 48 in the South. So we got a 90 and a 95, and for our final check-in, we'll go over to Untapped, and they have it at 3.82. That's borderline B plus A minus beer there. So we're all pretty close there. It definitely is a very tasty beer. Definitely worth picking up. A little bit different than the regular Mama's Milk with the Joe Mama's Milk on this one. A great beer. It is. Definitely a tasty beer. So if you've had this one from Keegan Ales, let me know what you think. This is their Joe Mama's Milk. Very tasty beer, guys. So let me know if you had it, and come back tomorrow. Let's take something tasty out of the fridge. See you then.